My third one.
Hey, Gator Nation. Welcome back to the Respect Our Decision podcast. Man, we got a great episode tonight, man. A lot of stuff popping off. It's December the 7th. I'm your boy Hirsch, and as always with me is Mike.
What's going on?
And the hype man Wes, who might be a little more hyped tonight.
Yes, sir. Class 24.
All right, let's get it rolling, guys. But as always, make sure you go out there and download us wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Respect Our Decision. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and like every video and drop us a comment. Make sure you drop us a lot of comments about how you feeling about the Gators today. And as always, guys, if you like to support us as creators, check us out on our Patreon at Respect Our Decision. And if you'd like to support us as creators, we sure do appreciate it. We put each and every dollar we make back into this show. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our patrons so far out there. Thank you so much for your support. And as always, guys, before we get started, we want to give a huge shout out to our key sponsor, Camwood Supplements. Make sure you go visit camwoodsupplements.com for all your supplements for your workout, your post-workout recovery, and especially your digestive greens for your digestive health. Man, I can't say enough good things about them. Use code RESPECT20 to save 20% off your first purchase. And with that being said, guys, we're jumping right on into it. It's DJ Lagway Day. Man, we're just 3.5 hours out from DJ Lagway dropping his huge commitment to the Florida Gators. This one's been in the works for a while, guys. We've talked about him. We had this date marked on our calendar since the day he said this was when he was committing. Man, we got to talk about it, guys. We got to, I mean, it's got to be an exciting time for Gator Nation as a whole. This is the epitome of identifying your target, making him your focus, and getting the damn job done. Shout out to Billy Napier in the Army. Mike, what you think?
We just got the prom queen. Like you said it best. I was pretty much said the same. Echoed what you said last week. I mean, picked our guy, got him. Bottom line, it happening back-to-back class is huge. It shows that one, you got to have an eye for talent, but two, just he's a dog on the trail, which I know a lot of people are wondering, given his background or his lack of head coaching experience at the Power 5 level. He, building up the Army, putting a support staff, a proper coaching staff and support staff around him to make this happen. But even with that, we still didn't. He's the quarterback coach. Sean O'Hara, wasn't known to be like a true dog on the trail like this, and we're just getting tremendous results. So for this to occur back, essentially his first 2 years, because he kind of punted QB1 last year with Evers, and thank God, because that kid and his families are psychos. But I mean, it's true they transferred already. But anyways, the bottom line, they stepped up. It was pretty much an unknown in terms of quarterback recruiting. This is the best quarterback recruiting since Urban Meyer, when they had like 3 5-stars on campus. So this speaks volumes.
Wes, I know you're excited, man. Speak on it.
As everyone knows who follows our podcast, and to our new followers, I've hopped on the 24 class saying, and I'll break that down in the later podcast of why I thought the 24 class would be so important, especially going into next year, whatever we have those podcasts. I'll break that down why I think this was going to be his class. You look at what On3 has this kid as the number 7 player in the class, the number 2 dual threat, or just QB period. I mean, this is the most important position on the field. We all know that. If I speak into the prophecy of me thinking that we're going to have a top 5, top 3-ish class, you got to have this type of kid to make that come into fruition. And so far, so good for me on my prediction and my hypothesis. So, I mean, this is a great day for me. and the Florida Gators too. But I mean, this was huge. Mike echoed some things about Billy Napier and Coach Hart and what they have done with Rashada and now DJ Lagway. I mean, this kid is a kid that will draw other kids in. I saw he was already recruiting players already. I think he sent something to Rick's already, the DB. So this is the type of kid you want as your leader. That's going to draw other kids to him to play with him. He already said he wants the #1 class, and I put that interview up on Facebook for those who follow us on Facebook that he wants the #1 class in the country, and it's going to start and end with him.
Yeah, I mean, look, we said it over and over again. This was the guy. There wasn't enough. There were fallbacks, but they weren't serious. This was the guy. This was the primary. This is the guy. Even before they decided to get back into the Jaden Rashada sweepstakes and flip him, they never wavered. They never wavered. They just kept going after him. They made sure he knew that he was the focus. He was the guy. The student body made sure he knew he was the guy. The fans on Twitter, the fans on message boards. I mean, wherever you were a fan and DJ's name came up, the fans were all over it. So huge shout out to the fans in this process too. They played their role, and that's how you do it in big boy recruiting. I mean, they obviously were in touch with who DJ Lagway was, and they showed out, man. Want to take a big moment to give a shout out to A, the Gator Collective, and B, the guys behind the scenes that do a little of the heavy lifting, if you will, and I'll just leave it at that. There's a lot of people that played their role in this recruitment that all nailed their assignment. That's the only way you can put it. They knew the assignment and they killed it. Everybody played their role and got this job done. I can't say enough good things about all the people involved. Once again, guys, shout out to the Gator Collective. Thank you for what you do. If you're not already a member of the Gator Collective, now is the time. We're moving on up, man. There's a lot of prospects in that 24 class, like Wes just mentioned. And hey, we ain't done with this 23 class yet. And we're gonna move on to that here very, very shortly. Wes, you got something you want to add?
Yeah, to piggyback on another point that Mike was saying to Billy Napier and Hards, what they did. This kid, I know a lot of fans freaked out because he was in Southern California last week. I mean, to get a guy that Lincoln Riley wanted, that has put out Heisman after Heisman,
the guru.
Yeah, and Caleb Williams is probably going to win another. That's probably his third Heisman. And Jalen Hurts,
overall pick was.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts was what, in top 3 in the Heisman voting that year when he was there, and he didn't win it. So to do that, to go up against Lincoln Riley and win, shows what type of coach. Recruiting coach we have. So big shout out to the staff.
Lincoln Riley had the last in-home visit with DJ Lagway and his family too.
And by the looks of it, I mean, look, the past 2 classes, you could easily argue we're top 3 in the country in terms of quarterback recruiting.
Yeah, I just, like we said, guys, and Wes brought this up. DJ committed and within 30 minutes was on Twitter saying, all right, who's coming with me? That is an alpha dog. That is the kid that you need in your recruiting class. A year out from early signing day of the 24 class. Already hitting up kids. Who's coming with me? You see kids on Twitter. Hey, what's the move?
What state's he from?
Texas, baby. One of your top 3. Hey, man. If y'all haven't watched DJ Lagway's highlights, I'm not, I don't have any on hand to tweet out right now, but they're not hard to find. Go on Twitter, search DJ Lagway and videos and scroll. You'll find plenty of highlights. The kid has got it. He's got the touch. He's got the laser when he needs it. He's got the legs. This is that dude.
Special.
Now, I'm sure recruiting services will drop him instantaneously because, you know, that's the running joke. It is what it is. I hope he's so damn good that he makes it where they don't have much of a choice, and there's no Mannings being recruited next year. So he's already got that in his favor. Oh, man. Hey, we kid, but we don't.
He had a great finale, by the way.
He did. The kid has been phenomenal all year, as well as the 2023 quarterback that we have as well, and we're going to talk about him here in a bit. But look, man, we're going to move on from DJ. It's hard to because it's such an exciting day for Gator Nation, but man, I can't wait to just cover this going forward, especially here on the show as we talk about kids just lining up to join, and hopefully just him being in this 24 class is going to help us close out this 23 class strong. And with that being said, we're going to segue right into some recruiting news. But before we do, guys, we want to announce a brand new sponsor for the show, and that would be All-Star Roofing. All-Star Roofing in Georgia, in servicing Georgia, is the new sponsor, brought to you by a great Gator who runs that, Justin Martin. They do storm damage, they do gutter damage, and of course they do roofing work and roofing insurance claims. Like I said, guys, they're located in the state of Georgia, primarily where they work out of, not licensed in Florida at this time. Go to allstarsroofs.com and check them out today, and use code RESPECT100. Get your a discount on your first roofing job there. Guys, we got a lot of recruiting news, man. Wow, I mean, it just don't stop. So, just to recap, first, last week we had some big official visitors in the building. Starting with another 5-star on the block, Desmond Ricks. We've talked about him. Man. Woo, boy. I can't say enough about Desmond Ricks and Corey Raymond and staff are getting after it, man. Mike, I know you want him, man. Speak on it.
I need Mike CB2 for next season. One, like I said, we do not have that enough. These don't have enough depth at this point with the departure of Avery Elm. I'm not going to depend on Moore, who into the day he was injured and he played decent, solid, but nothing spectacular. Jaden Hill, I don't even know if he has knee ligaments anymore. So just to get a guy of this caliber, he's the most game ready corner in the country. He comes from a family, his brother, Eli Ricks, plays for Bama, future NFL player. But this guy is three years and he's gone. So this is the type of guy loves Corey Raymond. Corey Raymond loves him. So and it just fits the scheme perfectly. Play man up, and what I truly love about him is his personality, straight business. I mean, obviously, that second, skill players, they're divas. You can get away with it. It's not a big deal. However, he just shows up, doesn't talk crap, just boom. Let's get it done.
Wes, how you feel about Desmond Ricks coming off this visit?
From everything I've read and heard and talked to, I feel pretty good. I hope we can nail him. This goes back to me at Friday Night Lights as well, when Billy took the time to, and I remember Ricks talked about how Billy took the time to introduce himself to him and talk to him when he could have been everywhere. He wasn't too big to come down, and I think that meant something there. The kid loves Corey Raymond. I mean, what DB who wants to make it to the NFL doesn't? So when you have all that going, and for those who don't know, Ricks was a 24 prospect, and he reclassified, became a 23 prospect, and he was the number 1 corner in 24, and he's now the number 2 corner in the country. As Hirsch said, he's a 5-star. Mike said he can start day 1. He's 3 years and out. So you want that type of talent on your squad. So hopefully on December 22nd, it happens, man. We need that kid.
Yeah. all the buzz as you would expect off of an official visit weekend is very, very positive for Desmond. But I will say for sure, Corey Raymond is a difference maker in this recruitment. Desmond really loves Corey Raymond. And this is where we want to see the Corey Raymond effect really pay off, is in getting this elite recruit. It's going to be a battle. LSU, Alabama also involved. I believe Alabama's probably running a distant third in this one.
I think they have somebody else in mind anyway, but
yeah, they might have somebody from that we've talked about on this show in mind. If you haven't heard, they may be getting a visit from funny. I just thought about that. That's this weekend too. When Rick's is supposed to be out there. Should be fun times. Anyway, I believe it's just us and LSU in this recruitment. Hopefully, the Corey Raymond effect and all that will play out. But it'll be a battle, man. We won't know until the ink is dry on that one. Second big time official visitor on this weekend, on this previous weekend, big baby, Jordan Hall, 4-star defensive tackle out of Florida. This has been an uphill battle for most of the cycle. Most have heavily leaned to this kid being going to Georgia. But if things are supposed, if word is to be believed, we have made some serious ground up on this kid. We offered his brother a preferred walk-on spot. Apparently that was a tremendous deal to not only Jordan, but the family. The family was blown away by the visit and all the things that they saw and heard. This is what you want to hear coming off a visual visit. You want to hear, I was blown away. I saw everything I needed to see. Those are the things you need to hear. Soon as Jordan came off of his visit, he announced his commitment date, which is also something you always, you like to hear. It's positive. So got to close, man. That's just another one of these commitments where you got to close. Mike, big defensive tackle. I mean,
no, big time get. Like you said, battle with Georgia. Be another head-to-head victory. First one being Cameron James along the D line, up from Jacksonville, with the exception of Pup. Going to South Carolina, linebacker going to South Carolina. We pretty much take that whole area for us. Forgive me if I'm leaving anyone out on that account there. But he, if you take one look at his profile image on 24/7, you can see he's a grown-ass man. So I don't foresee
he's a big boy.
Yeah, he looks 45 years old, and I absolutely freaking love it. So with that being said, obviously he's not going to start day one. However, he could definitely work as like McClellan, work himself into the rotation slowly. Hopefully we have enough depth so you don't have to depend on that. You never want to, but maybe in sub packages, so on and so forth. Maybe he has develops a pass rush, but he's definitely physically ready. So that's always a plus. And just once again, you're winning these big boy battles. You're not beating the West Virginias. You're not beating Missouris. No, like under previous regimes, you're going head to head with a team that is I think the biggest favorite to win a national championship.
You're also not going after projects.
Correct. He's number 7. I want to say he's number 72 in the composite, and you're keeping the talent home. So once again, he's just taking over the entire state of Florida. That's not only going to affect this cycle, that's going to affect next cycle as well and moving forward. So it's just Billy Napier gets it. I think he said I want to recruit 5 hour radius, but Jacksonville, for years, like past 5 years since the Muschamp was gone, it's been going down to Miami, pretty much wherever. Anywhere but Florida. Now it seems like it's going to be a Gator honey hole again. So you get Jacksonville back, you get the parts of the Panhandle every now and then South Florida, and you just own Tampa. You're good to go.
I mean, yeah, that once again, man, getting your prospects from Florida and your quarterbacks from the quarterback-rich states, it's a blueprint for success.
Yep.
Wes, how you feel about Big Baby?
I mean, what's not to like? If Coach Chaos can reel this kid in, it's only going to make what he has gotten so far as D-line class that more special. He's the work we've done. I know it was all Georgia at the beginning, but we have slowly walked that down, and that's just a sign of how this staff doesn't stop recruiting kids that they want. They want you. They're going to make sure you know it, and they're going to relentlessly attack you. So hopefully we can get him in his class. I know we're probably going to need somebody else in the portal, and as Mike said, you don't really want him to be dependent on. But if he's what we've seen, he's gonna earn his way on the field regardless. The same way Chris McCullum did to go around. Because in my mind, I see Desmond Watson and Chris McCullum taking Dexter's spot. So you have those two guys starting at D tackle. Then hopefully we get somebody in the portal. And
don't forget about Sapp.
Oh yeah, Tyreek Sapp. So we get Tyreek Sapp and a guy in the portal, hopefully, and then he won't have to come in and start. But I got a feeling he won't allow himself to be too. I think he might be in it too deep. He's that special of a talent. So that's how I see the kid on film.
Yeah. Hey.
The only thing
Go ahead, Wes.
Just to wrap up this about him and Rich, the only thing I hate is the commitment date is the 22nd, and we got like that first visit. I wish we kind of had like the last round. I'm not sure if they're not taking any more visits now. I believe they are, both kids. So I wish we had like
Paul's going to UGA this weekend. Rick's will be at Bama this weekend.
Yeah.
Both of these kids, guys, like Wes just said, are deciding on the 22nd, not the 21st. Early signing day, of course, being the 21st. Both kids will decide on the 22nd and sign that day. So just what they've decided to do. They're not linked in any way, shape, or form. Not to my knowledge. I mean, unless the staff got something real sneaky going on that we don't know about. I don't think these two announcements are linked as far as that goes. But man, right, like Mike was saying, and whatnot. This recruiting, this staff they're not scared to get into these battles, man. And they don't shy away from them, and they don't back down when they think they're behind. I think it would be really, it wouldn't be a stretch to say the last staff, if they thought they were, in behind in the recruitment, we just like, well, we've lost that one. Let's move on to somebody we know we can get. Yeah. And then you're settling for a lesser prospect, and then they're transferring out the next year, 2 years down the road when they don't get their starting spot because they're not good enough to get it. These kids we're getting are not projects. Most of these kids that we are signing in this class are going to come in and compete for roster spots next year. There will be some that won't, that are a year out, body types and whatnot. Mike's spoken about that several times on the show about, not everyone comes in with a college ready body type. You have to work towards it. Cameron James is a little lean. Some of those, especially the linemen, they're a little lean.
Collins looked a little lean when I saw him, surprisingly.
Collins looks like more of a rush in than
it helps to be an early enrollee. And
yes, to get into that weight program.
Yep.
And don't worry, these college coaches, for those that don't know, as soon as these kids commit, these strength and conditioning coaches and these, and our nutritional people, they get with these kids and start setting them on a plan, because the coaches probably give them hey, by the time you step on campus, I want you to be at X weight.
Yep.
And whatnot. And they're working with them, man. And I have no doubt with as daggum detailed as this staff is that they have they gave all these kids detailed plans. Guys, we've talked about it over and over again. This weekend is just another stacked recruiting weekend, and probably the last big one of this before early signing day. The bowl game is kind of going to put a wrench in our plans. For those that don't know, the Gators accepted a invite to the Las Vegas Bowl. which correct me if I'm wrong, is December 17th. I believe that's the date.
Quick verification for you.
What's that?
Verifying.
And that would be next weekend, which was going to cut us a weekend short on the recruiting. Now, don't fret on that. Kids can obviously make midweek visits if need be. Kids will be getting out of school for the holiday break and whatnot. So you might see an official visit pop up midweek if there's a prospect at the last minute we want to try to get in. But yeah, with the bowl game being December 17th, that's going to throw a little bit of a wrench in our plans. But here's where the staff once again throws the switch. The staff made this weekend coming up the big recruiting weekend, anticipating, I would assume, bowl preparation and or bowl game further down in that, in that line. So here we go, guys. Big time recruiting weekend. We're going to start it off talking about 4-star defensive tackle John Walker, a UCF commit, been a UCF commit since before the season, but the kid's made, what are we at now? What is it we at? 5 trips to Gainesville? 4 or 5 trips to Gainesville this will make since he.
I think he has a dorm. Or at least
maybe he does. Maybe he does have a dorm.
He at least has a box.
This is a need, and one that some people will tell you could possibly be a done deal for Florida already, and the staff's just kind of been letting this one simmer. Now, I don't know how much I believe that. I think that's dangerous pool, but Mike, one more defensive tackle possibility in the hopper for you, man. Got to get it, huh?
Yeah, this is what had me start out with the coach.
The chaos.
I'll say chaos. But that's what began to slander, because he whiffed on. It was a straight whiff, and I didn't want to hear, his mom. No, well, sway the mom, get it done, and if he does, all right, no more slander in terms of that. So yeah, you can get other targets, and I'm ecstatic for him. But in the day, you're paid to get kids that you target. It's like we wanted Lagway, we wanted Rashada. Well, we got him. So Walker was one of the first targets. And if we can circle back and get it, I don't care at what date you get him. I just care that he's on the team and doesn't transfer in at a later date from another school. No, sign him in this class. Get as many defensive tackles as you can, because we need the depth, as Wes alluded to previously. And he's a big-time player, plays at a very good program with his teammate that we'll be talking about later, Jackson, with the Osceola Cowboys. And they've been a good program for years now. So, once again, gives you another solid footprint within in Central Florida. And it's a huge need. And tackle for loss, penetration, he can play maybe your pseudo nose. I mean, because we don't have a natural one, but he's just, once again, he fits a need. He was a 1 early on. Get the job done.
Wes, what are your thoughts on John Walker?
I mean, I love the kid. To get him in Hall, I don't know what more anyone could ask to solidify this class for Chaos, along with everybody else that he has coming in, is just elite stuff from Chaos and what he's may end up doing. I mean, this is just can be something special. We know in the SEC you have to win in the trenches, and if you don't do it, then if you don't recruit well in the trenches, you're going to lose. You're going to get pushed around. We saw what our offense did as far as running the ball against teams, and we saw a lot of the things we gave up late on the edges and some stuff throughout the season where some teams were able to run the ball on us. And we have to be able to fix that up front. Adding Walker and Hall would be phenomenal. I'm hoping that we can get this done. There's been rumors that he was on flip watch for a while. So hopefully, like our offensive coaches missed on Roger Kearney early in the year, and they were able to flip him. Hopefully this is Chaos's Roger Kearney, and he comes back and flips this kid.
Yeah, this. As many times as this kid has visited, you've got to get this done. I mean, you just you've had this kid here 4 or 5 times. You know what he wants at this point. I mean, you know what it's going to take to get it closed out. You've shown him everything in the world to show him what he could be in this defense next year. Mike, you got something you wanted to add? Besides being muted?
No, I mean, just kind of wanted to follow up on what Wes said. I mean, he said, I don't know what Chaos could do if he lands Walker. I mean, I know exactly what he can do. I've said this for the entire season, ever since the summer. Yes, you can have a phenomenal recruiting class and yet be incomplete. I can make the phenomenal paper. I'm not getting an A+. I can get an A. I won't get an A+. Once again, there's a reason they recruited Caden Jones. There is a reason why they're looking at McLeod out of South Carolina.
Caden McDonald, you mean?
Potato. We didn't get him. Him too. You know, when he didn't get him, I got the hurt out of my heart. Okay, so I try to put it away. Caden at Georgia that we didn't get, so we still need to. I prefer nose. If we get all these guys, all right, fine. Hopefully I'd prefer, even if it's a project that you can mold in a couple of years. But once again,
simple question.
One moment, it's almost done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just once again, I prefer any type of nose to truly gift wrap this class. It's a great class, but it can still be great, but not 100%.
Simple question. It may be a 2-part question. If we get Hall and Walker, what would you grade the class, the D-line class?
Hall and Walker?
Mm-hmm.
Are we including edge rushers?
Yeah, all that. That's him.
B+, A-.
What would you give the O-line class without any additions? They can't be the same.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
They're not. They're in 2 different tiers.
Okay, so what's the grade?
I have to have the class in front of me. So I mean, no, honestly,
go ahead.
No, honestly,
no. We're moving on.
What?
Go ahead.
B-, C+. The bottom line right now, I know what you're trying to do. They're not. Spencer is recruiting at a higher level than the offensive line.
That's all I was trying to say earlier.
That's all he was trying to get at.
That's what I was trying to tell you way back when.
But what you're arguing? You made up an argument when I just stated something. Why?
Go ahead, Hurst.
It's still not complete.
Because our whole argument, and I'll end with this, Hurst, our whole argument from the beginning when we first started about that was I wanted you to have the same energy for our offensive coaches the same way you had it for Chaos. Because to me, they weren't doing what he was getting other pieces on his line. They were missing on Simmons and Kearney and whoever else they were going. They were just whiffing. And you didn't give them that same energy you gave Chaos.
Hey, Hirsch, I'm not going to – who's on the board? Do we have a tackle on the board?
We're going to get to that.
I know. We have a tackle on the board, Wes.
We have 2. But they're not comparable. All right. Next guy, guys. Thank God this argument's going to be over soon and we can move on to new arguments next cycle. All right. Next man up, 4-star running back Mark Fletcher. As you may know, Mark Fletcher visited a few weeks back during the season. And immediately after his visit, I believe that South Carolina game, right after the game, decommitted from the Ohio State University and is down to us and Miami, where his father played. So he's a legacy commit for Miami, but word on the whole street is that Mark Fletcher is locked in with the Gators. And part of that is because he and Trayon Webb are good friends and have talked about playing with each other for a while. So this could be a twofer right here, guys. We get a second running back in our class, which we're going to need because of transfer portal reasons, which we'll get to in our next segment. But This is another one of those recruitments. You've done what you needed to do. The legwork is done. It's time to bring in the closer and get it 1, 2, 3 in the ninth. Mike,
it's got to get this one done. Like you said, if it's supposedly done deal, keyword supposedly, you can't. It's a major whiff. It completes the backfield. He's in need because of the we only have with Webb 3 backs, so before it backs, he gives us that type of back we don't currently have given his frame. I know Johnson is a powerful back, but end of the day, the size comparison is night and day. So, and another thing that's people need to keep in mind: schools in Broward. There's 2 major schools in Broward. American Heritage and St. Thomas Aquinas. You always, and Sapp is from Aquinas, and Fletcher is going to be from pardon?
And Wingo as well. I know you don't like to talk about it, but
I've never heard of her. And pardon me. Then Fletcher is from American Heritage. So you always want to have a footprint in those 2 schools because it gives kids are have their players can visit their buddies up on campus. So between the actual talent level, between a need, and between having a footprint at a powerhouse down in South Florida, it's just you got to get it done.
Wes, any thoughts on Fletcher?
Yeah, I keep it short. As we alluded to, we need depth. We have Lingard. Well, we have some other backs that have put themselves in the portal. And if anybody, I think Miami had Knighton, who I like, going to portal today. To me, I really like that kid. And if he's leaving there and you look at our run game compared to what they were putting out there this year, I mean, if he's making a business decision, it'll be us. And we all know what the things that happened a couple of weeks ago when he visited and then decommitted from Ohio State. So that looks to be trending in our favor. So I'm looking forward to having him in the play.
Word is the staff has made Fletcher a target for a long time, and he's known the whole time. There's been an open communication with him much longer than what we heard of when he showed up for that visit that weekend, that they had really put an emphasis on wanting to add this kid to this class. Probably at that point also knowing what we spoke about kids entering the portal and going to need, bodies behind Montrell and Trevor. All right. A new name to the board visiting this weekend in an official capacity. 4-star tight end Jaden Platt out of Texas, currently committed to Stanford. Platt is number 96 on 247, number 234 in the composite. He's a 6'5" tight end, 235 pounds. Like I said, currently committed to Stanford, who is still looking for a coach as of this moment, if I'm correct on that. William Piegler making his presence finally known this recruiting cycle in some capacity. I know early on the staff's view was they probably weren't going to take a tight end, but that position has gotten a little thinner due to injury, due to transfers, all the things that are plague everyone's roster nowadays. What are y'all's thoughts on Jaden Platt, if any?
I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 235. He was committed there since last December. And if you don't know, their coach of past 12 years is retired over there in Stanford. So if he was committed to Stanford, he has to be a smart kid. So coming to UF is, to me, the Stanford of the East Coast. The Southeast, wherever you want to say it, because Stanford's on the West, so that's why I said it that way, guys.
What in the hell?
But that's what our presidents wanted to be. But anyway, he has the size we need. If we saw our tight ends this year, but beyond Zipper, I don't know what we had there as far as blocking tight ends. I would have to do some research with this kid to see what type of tight end he is. I'm not sure yet if he's a passing or a blocking type tight end, but he has the size. He's 6'4", so can definitely use that. He's out of the state of Texas, so I would do some digging into him and see what type of tight end he is.
Mike, any thoughts?
Stanford's known for taking quality tight ends. I mean, football programs in the gutter right now. It's probably why the coach just did a friendly goodbye. But now he's from a talent-rich state, has good size. He's a blue chip player, so he doesn't mess with my boy's ratio at all. So I'm on board. Once again, 6'4.5", 235. Probably growing to about 6'5", 6'6", or 6'6" with cleats, 250, 260, depending on his frame. He'll wind up 250, 260. So that's a worst case good blocking tight end. He's I think you're looking at worst case more athletic Zanders. So I'll take it. We need depth at the position. We just lost one to the portal, and we don't have a lot of talent there at the moment, especially blue chip talent.
Yeah, we're in desperate need for some tight end bodies.
I think Zipper is the only
Odom
blue chip actually.
Yeah, Zipper is the only blue chip. Then you got Odom, who showed spark in the last few.
I like Odom. That's my boy.
He can block.
I like Odom.
Stick his face in there.
I listened to Odom in the Gator Collective chat last night on Twitter. Shout out to Gator Collective once again for having that chat. He was in there, and Mike's man, Austin Barber, was in there. Very bright young men, man. Really liked what they had to say. If you ever find out the Gator Collective's holding one of those chats on Twitter, they announce it all the time. Check that out and listen to these young men talk. They talk about the team and what the attitude is around the team, especially with transfers going in and out and things of that nature, and answer a lot of fans' questions too. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll take the kid all day long. If the staff if he checks the boxes for the staff, I'm on board.
That was a good point by Mike too about what the type of tight ends that Stanford takes.
Absolutely.
But that because they run a pro style type of offense, and they really use the tight ends over there. So
I'm gonna discuss some thing about the tight ends when we get into the portal too, because I want to throw out our good buddy Jaheim Bell in a second and talk about him for a minute. Also visiting this weekend, Caden Jones, offensive tackle out of Louisiana, 3-star or 4-star, depending on what service you're using. I know he's a 3-star in the composite. Big-bodied young man. Now, most anybody that's anybody has said the minute Florida gives him the green light, he will be a commit. There's a reason, though, that he has not been given that green light yet. We're going to get to that here in a minute. But, I mean, it's a good fallback to have. Caden Jones, like I said, very large young man out of Louisiana. I think LSU is pretty filled up on their offensive line. So he's not getting a shot out there. That's why they're not in on him. Thoughts on Caden Jones, guys, before we move on down to the other guys on the list?
As you said, he's a backup. He was a kind of like a backup plan type offensive tackle. We sense that they're hoping that we can get some other guys that were higher on our board at the time. He's a project, but he has the size and potential to fill out into a monster. He's 6'8". So you give him a couple years in the program, as we all stated earlier about getting into the conditioning program and putting some, because he's going to have to put some weight on. You put that weight on and hope for the best with this type of kid. He's the type of kid that you take a chance on to develop, being his size. I mean, you can't teach how he is. So hopefully, I wouldn't mind. I don't know how you guys feel. I wouldn't mind taking him even if the other thing does happen. Just because of the potential of what he could be. Even though he's the type of kid that may not transfer right away, because he knows he needs time to develop, and someone you can develop into something, later down the line. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I like his size. Mike,
what are your thoughts?
That's one of the disadvantages of going second. So, unfortunately, I agree with Wes. I'm a big fan of the kid. He's 6'8", extremely long arms, something he can't teach. I don't want to assume he knows he needs development, because some kids think they're ready day one, and absolutely not. This kid needs to sit at least 3 years. But if he's in a mindset, hey, I'm going to go to a damn good school. I'm going to coaches that put all Americans has potential to put a brick in the at the stadium, put players in the league. Like, you can't, if he has that proper mindset, I'll take him in a heartbeat, even if we get our number one target, who we'll talk about in a minute. Because like I said, like Wes is saying, you cannot teach a 6'8", put on 30, approximately 30 or so pounds, and not to mention he's at a solid school in New Orleans. Keep that foothold down there.
Yeah, I have to imagine that maybe Stapleton and Billy have spoken to this young man prior to being at Florida when they were down there at Louisiana Lafayette, or at least had inroads in his school. I
think it's Duluth's old school thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe I've heard that as well. So look, like y'all said, the kid has to know, hey, you're not coming in for a chance to start next year, and probably not the year after that. You know who's on our board. You know who's in front of you now. I mean, coming in. But if you have that mindset, yes, I would like to come in. I would like to be developed by guys that develop NFL caliber offensive linemen. Yes, I understand coming in that and I say I'm not going to enter the portal next year if I'm not starting and whatnot. As long as y'all, try to develop me and do what's right by me. Okay, stuff falls off my desk. I think that this could be a real good pickup, and I'm with y'all. I think maybe we should just go ahead and get the kid anyway, assuming of course that we have the spots, and
sure.
and assuming it's not going to take a spot from possible portal player that is more impactful now, and that's the staff's job, obviously, to determine how that plays out.
And another thing to keep in mind, we got a lot of veterans across the 2 deep. Hevesy actually left us pretty decent across the line, arguably the best, actually.
And the staff got some good, late pulls last year, like Waits, who I think is in line.
Correct.
Possibly.
Yeah, I love Waits.
Year. All right. Before we move to the big man, we also have a couple of 4-star Florida cornerbacks making their Florida commits, making their official visits this weekend. One being Sharif Denson, and the other being the highly sought after Jakeem Jackson. For those that don't know, Miami has really tried to be in his ear lately. He's even said Cormani was recruiting him. Him and Cormani squared off against each other in the semifinals this week with the guy who we shall not mention anymore, team getting the victory over Jakeem and John Walker. But on that point, Jakeem Jackson just tweeted out right before we came onto the air that Gator Nation wants John Walker in orange and blue. So openly recruiting John Walker for the Gators on Twitter doesn't sound like a guy who's looking around. And of course, Sharif Denson was once flirting with Alabama and maybe even Miami there too. This is one of those situations. Mike likes to talk about it. Big boy ball. This is where you bring him in and you shut the door and you say, nah, man, when y'all leave here, it's when you say, I'm done. I'm not going anywhere. We're having a good time tonight. And that's what time it is, ain't it, Mike?
Always. Pardon me. Like you said, you bring him in, shut it down. Teammate John Walker, like I said, Osceola, it's a very phenomenal school. Even if he's entertaining, hypothetically, like a visit down to Miami, like if you go, you're done, kind of deal. So you have at this point, you have the leverage, especially given a season down there. Given, we didn't finish going on the correct, finish with 2 losses, 2 bad losses in my opinion. But at the end of the day, you can just tell with the recent commit of Lagway. It wasn't wins and losses, and that's why I said it was a successful season. We're going to bowl season. We're having a lot of big time visitors still. We have a potential of a top 5 class still. So once again, get Jackson in, make him comfortable, let him be like the Webb. What we see what Webb does. Get him around the kids. He's been around the program. He knows the ins and outs. Get him. Maybe a random pop from Fletcher. Walker, maybe the teammates are there. Maybe that's what they're waiting on. So that's, something to think about. Also, Denson, been around the program a while. They've been committed for a while. So that's for those who are not committed and who will be at UF that weekend. That's something to think about.
Wes, before you give your thoughts on this, that's actually something I haven't seen, but it would not surprise me at all if Treyon Webb shows up on campus this weekend to assist in the efforts. He loves that role. He loves recruiting. And like I said, he's good friends with Fletcher. So it would not surprise me at all if we heard Friday or maybe even tomorrow that Treyon Webb is going to be in town on an unofficial, to help with the recruiting efforts. Wes, your thoughts on Jackson and Sharif?
Yeah, quick tidbit on Treyon. Today I saw he passed the baton over to Miles. Hey.
Pardon? Can you repeat that, Wes, please?
You passed the baton over to Miles today.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that.
For recruiting for the 24 class.
Award?
Huh?
The Nick Washington Award?
Yeah. Like, once DJ came in, they were talking with each other. He was like, hey, it's your turn. You do this thing for the 24 class. So that was good to see. But we've alluded to, and the fans have seen the problems with our secondary this year. And I just want Corey Raymond to be able to start from scratch with Moore and Marshall. I haven't seen Kimber since he had the cast on his hand. They had a pick 6. Don't know what happened to him. Then you have Jaden Hill. Don't know. He seems like the kid that loves the program. I'm not sure if he's going to stay or not, but he was kind of talking trash to Jacob Copeland last year, I remember, about leaving and not sticking it through. So I don't know if Jaden Hill will go. So that's 3 DBs, right? If Hill stays. And I know I'm missing somebody. I'm forgetting one of the guys. But to add this class with Denson and Jakeem Jackson, with these two we're talking about now, and it's just amazing to see how far rarely that Florida commits shoot up the rankings. And this kid was way in the back. And I remember when Corey Raymond found him, he was like, who is this kid? And they just shot up. And that just shows you the skill, the eye talent of Corey Raymond and what he has done, what he is capable of, and his eye for good players in the secondary. So I'm hoping they stick. As you guys say, those are the type where you tell you, hey, you got shut down. You don't need to go visit anybody else. You're Gators. Corey Raymond, I think, is Corey Raymond. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. These guys see early playing time. Why not stay?
Yeah, I think we're good on both of these kids. I think the staff does what the staff does, gets them on campus, shows them everything they need to see. They have a great weekend, and they come out of the visit. And then on late Sunday or Monday, we see some tweets that say my recruitment is 100% shut down. Mike, you got something you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, something to piggyback off what Wes said. Yeah, I mean, playing time is important. I think it's more at a position like D-line where you can rotate. But in general, if you want to recruit dogs, alphas, you don't give a damn where you go. Because Georgia, those kids have been waiting. Bama, most of the time, those kids have been waiting because they know, one, they're going to get developed. 2, like, all right, I'm going to be coached. I'm going to go to the league. Raymond, our O-line coach, put players in Colbert. They're putting players in the league. So at that point, all right, I'm gonna wait. But guess what? I mean, look at Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State with a hard line. Like, it's utterly ridiculous. And he wasn't even supposed to be the guy this year. So honestly, like, in terms of like playing time, yes, is it there? It is, because we're a decent team right now at best. So with that being said, though, I would always sell playing time as being the number one aspect. It's because once again, if you're an alpha, you got to believe in your capabilities. And end of the day, you want guys who think long term as well.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's talk about the big man. Right. What was it? A couple hours before DJ made his commitment today, the announcement was made that 5-star offensive tackle Samson Ukanola will be making an official visit to Gainesville this weekend. As you know, Samson and his family were here just a couple of weeks ago, and Billy and company spent a good half the day or more with the family up in Boston here a day or so ago to secure this visit. And then after he announced he was taking this visit, he announced that he would be committing on the 15th. So middle of the week, next week, right after he visits, we're going to know who it is. Depending on who you ask, it's us in Miami, maybe Ohio State on the outside looking in, but he chose not to make that visit for that game versus Michigan, which he was heavily rumored to be doing. I know the kid's asking for a Brinks truck, and probably rightfully so, being what he is and being the last of his kind on the board here for the 2023 class. Giant prototypical left tackle. It's getting to look more and more positive that the good guys might, I don't want to get anyone's hopes too high, because God knows I don't want y'all saying, you said we were going to get him, because somebody will. But guys, it's looking really positive right now. Mike, what's your thoughts on the pancake?
I think, unfortunately, because I'm setting myself up for tears, I have a weird, decent feeling before that we're not getting him. This guy wants
got that feeling in your tummy.
No, I had Pepto earlier, so I'm good there. I'm just I'm feeling a little good on it. Feeling a little good. Like you already spoke on a prototypical. We spoke on him in length. Prototypical left tackle. Like 6'6", 330, day one starter. He's out in 3 years. Laremy, I compare him I think of Laremy Tunsil in terms of him just kind of just knowing his worth to that effect. So, anyways, with that being said, this is why I have not harped on O-line recruiting. This is the exact reason why. In terms of grades, it's incomplete because I just don't know. You have one of the best players in the country. I'd have to check. He's I think number 12 overall. So it kind of goes to you have what do you like? He completes our offensive line for next year essentially. Your bookend tackles Barber, who was a freshman All-American. You'd have him most likely as him being a day one starter. Ethan White made All SEC. I want to say second team. Most likely Leonard at right guard. I mean, I pray he'd be a center, but who knows? But in the end of the day, we have depth. What he would do to our O-line recruiting put us, once again, this is a national recruit that puts you on the map. He's from an area. He's not from your prototypical area, but if we're bringing a kid from, I know, was it Massachusetts?
Yep.
We bring him from there.
Area.
Yeah, so that goes to, we're not only getting local kids, we're getting kids recruiting nationally. I know we got Rashada, but, quarterbacks are a little bit different. So, and that speaks volumes to our O-line coaches who I don't think they had a P5 experience, maybe Sale, but I know he was with the Giants. But end of the day, that's going to piggyback over the next year as well. And I also think Lagway could help us with Samson as well, because he's going to know I'm going to be at a program that is going to be a competent program during my career. I got 2 top 50 quarterbacks.
That's the biggest thing. I'm glad you put that in there just now at the end about the 2 quarterbacks that he maybe even had the chance to block for. to me, if you're any offensive player right now, you're happy. You're thinking to yourself, well, I got 2 quarterbacks. One of them has got to work. 2 top 50 quarterbacks, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to root against it just to be right about the class, but I'm hoping that we solidify his commitment and we get this kid in the class and it works out. I mean, he's a monster of a guy. Like Mike said, you looking at 3 years and probably gone. We have great O-line coaches that will be able to teach him saw what Torrance did. So, and we saw what Barber has become, even though he wasn't their recruit. But I mean, I'm looking forward to hopefully the flip of us, because I didn't think we had a shot a couple weeks ago.
Hey Wes, just really quick, not even on an argumentative note. I know you've been harshest critic, obviously, of the O-line coaching, and I understand that. However, if they get Sampson, and you don't even got to put a grade on, I don't want a grade. Like, how would you feel with this cycle?
You get an elite offensive line. I mean, a tackle. You get an elite tackle, and for the next 3 years, I mean,
and Kearney.
Good. And Kearney, yeah. I talked about Kearney earlier, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will be more than happy with that.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, that was the reason. Like, I kind of talked this whole time, and we can't forget Bryce Love. He's from Countdown County, one of the best counties in the world.
And Najee Harris.
Oh, that's true. Najee Harris from IMG, probably a future center, and I love him as well. Future starter, in my opinion. But the main thing is we got some core players, got some developmental types, great size, potential flips as well. I've heard about, but nonetheless, like you were saying, it's hard to argue when you get those type of blue chippers.
Yeah, and guys, a note that I didn't even have here is Lucas Simmons. You know, he's still out there, but word on the street with that one is that Atkins has convinced him to stay. But once again, that's all predicated on Atkins actually staying at FSU.
Yep.
Now, that also means he'd have to probably take the job before, he signs his LOI on the 21st or whenever he's planning on signing it. But, these guys have recruited some offensive linemen. I mean, no doubt about it. You land a guy like Samson Okunola, man, that right there. Like I said, I know he wants a mint and then something else after. But it doesn't look like anybody is paying that whatever he's asking for. So then it becomes who gets the closest and who does he want to play for? Well, here's the thing. We know Miami could probably beat us on the money. But that whole program is in a major flux right now. Are you going to play for an offensive coordinator that might not be there even when the season starts next year? I mean, I know the offensive line coach was a big deal up at Oregon, whatnot. But what's the draw to that class? You want to go play with Francis because he's another good offensive lineman? You've got no skill position players to speak of. They lost their quarterback. I mean, I know they still have the 3-star. Who are you blocking for? I think what y'all said, getting the quarterbacks in hand has to be just a great mindset for an offensive lineman to know, well, this is who I'm coming to block for. Not Ja'Cory Brown, if maybe he's the starter, or Garcia before he transfers.
Momentum's a hell of a drug.
Absolutely. Guys, who's this guy? This kid, I mean, this would be our best offensive tackle since who? Ivy?
This is Martez Ivy.
Ranked. And I'm not talking about – I'm talking ranked.
Okay. He played an option offense. So that was a problem.
Yeah, Wani ended up being – who? Taylor ended up being better than him, but it was Wani ended up being better because Wani was like a 3-star. He got drafted in the first round.
Yeah, Wani went to Coco.
Yeah.
That's my boy. Another Countdown County alum.
So he was the best since, Mike.
Pardon?
Who's it the best? He's the best since who?
Mike. It was right. It was Ivy. He's the best since Ivy.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking, Mike. I think Mike was thinking skill wise.
No, overall, like coming in.
Overall, yeah, Ivy. Absolutely. It's Ivy. But I mean, as far as comparable rankings on paper, all that, obviously, the kid's still raw in a lot of ways. He hasn't played football for for a very long time. So he's coachable, but he's raw. So he's not a day one plug-in, I severely doubt, but Waits takes the reins next year, and maybe you start working him in, and it becomes it could become a Barber situation.
Barber, Tarquin, don't forget those two.
Yeah, I know they're on the right side. But I'm just saying, it could become you have Waits maybe on the left.
It might move Barber over to the other side.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, I don't know. That's why I never was an O-line coach or anything to do with it.
Depending on how his feet, if he can handle.
Hey, I don't know what they look for out of their kids. But hey, I trust. Some
guys can't do it. Some guys can't do it.
I never wavered.
He never wavered.
Never wavered.
A couple of other notes, guys. Before we move out of recruiting. And this has been a hell of a recruiting segment. Jaden Rashada was supposed to be here this weekend. That was the plan. Jaden was going to visit, help with recruiting. He was actually going to do some charity Christmas work with the kids at Shands Hospital was on deck for him. He really wants to get involved in the community in Gainesville. Great young man. There were a lot of plans for him this weekend. Unfortunately, but not unfortunately, Jaden's team won their semifinal game, and Saturday they will play for the California State Championship. So, hey, that's a hell of a reason not to be able to make it.
Big shout out.
And once again, I mean, unlike the Arch Mannings of the world who get blown out in the playoffs like 42-13, Jaden Rashada still kicking butt and, dropping in his rankings, dropping on
the rivals.
Yeah, I mean, one day somebody will figure out that all this is a huge pyramid scheme. But until then, we also, guys, we have some portal guys coming in this weekend, and not many have been confirmed yet. I know there's some names being floated about, but none have really been confirmed except one, and that would be defensive tackle Caleb Banks, who's a transfer from Louisville. A 6'7", 300-pound defensive tackle. Whoa, Wes perked up.
This is no.
Believe he was a freshman last year, so would probably have 3 years, left to play. Woo! I like what the staff's focus is. That's the kind of bodies and kind of kids you want to see coming in here. Obviously, Louisville's coach just somehow got a better job. Not really sure how that works out, but I think Louisville made out in the wash in that transaction.
Louisville's a low-key damn good job.
Of course, now Louisville lost their best recruit in maybe school history in Reuben Owens today as he decommitted.
A lot of money there.
Word on the street is he may be eyeballing Texas A&M. But who cares? Because Texas A&M is a train wreck. Bringing today's recruits, tomorrow's transfers.
Huh?
That was a good one.
That's the Texas A&M motto. If it wasn't an $85 million buyout, you might see Jimbo's Christmas tree out in the yard again this year.
I think he's on the hot seat this year.
Oh, he's got to be. But anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna move on to recruiting. And we're going to hit the hot topic right now that has been of the last week. Portal Mania, baby. Portal Mania. Everybody's in the portal. And Portal Mania, we're going to be brought to you by our sponsor, as you know, our partnership with Prize Picks. Guys, if you hadn't yet signed up for Prize Picks, now's a great time. They're running a little deal this week where one of Mike's favorite players in the NFL, Justin Herbert, has a over-under of 5 yards passing. That's basically a free block if he throws over 5. If you bet him over passing 5 yards, I know Michael say you probably can't do it, but hey, but But guys, as I've mentioned many times, Prize Picks is the daily fantasy where you don't play against other players. You play against the spreads. You place wagers on whether or not certain players will hit over-unders in yardage, touchdowns, and other stat lines of that nature. You parlay up to 4 to 6 picks and win big, man. Use our code RESPECT100 today, and Prize Picks will match your deposit up to $100. That means if you put in 50, man, they're going to give you 50 free dollars to play with, all the way up to 100. Go on out there, man. Sign up for Prize Picks. Use our code RESPECT100 and make some of that money, man, off them NFL games. That's what they're there for, don't you know? I still don't think Mike believes Justin Herbert will throw for 5 yards this week, though.
Never trust a beta quarterback.
I had to get that in there. I knew as soon as I said it, Mike was going to be – his ears were going to perk up. That's one of Mike's daily shots. Anyway, guys, the portal out there just going strong, and the Gators have helped load it up. I believe they said over 1,000 kids have entered the portal this week. Some crazy astronomical number. Look, we heard it was going to be crazy. You know, the naysayers, oh, well, that's what we heard last year. Nah, man. NIL's here, baby. And if you're not a starter, man, why not try to go get it somewhere else so you can get their money? But before we talk about some possible guys out there that the Gators might target, let's do some rundowns of some of the kids that have moved on. And of course, as always, guys, we wish these kids the best. You know, they've blood, sweat, and tears for the Gators, and for that matter, we love them, we respect them, and we wish them the best. We're going to start in the running back room. We talked about it earlier. Naquan Wright in the portal, Lorenzo Lingard in the portal. Neither name really a surprise to this show. We've talked about both of those kids in previous episodes that we thought that both of them would probably hit the portal, and here we are. Guys, any quick thoughts on the running backs?
Naquan, quality, solid back, just a bad scheme fit. Lingard can definitely provide some substance to a room. I think he needs to move down a level, but I think he needs some, like I said, new opportunity.
Wes?
I'll do the wide receivers.
Okay. This is a group discussion, Wes. No, real quick. I wish the both of them the best. I hope they find a scheme fit for both of them. I'll make sure especially Renzo, I'll keep up with that young man. I hope he hits it big somewhere, wherever he goes next year. Best of luck. Receivers. We already knew Trent Whittemore was in the portal, but now it's official. And maybe a kind of a surprise, Dejon Reynolds announced for the portal this week as well. Right after he finally kind of got going there. Wes, what are your thoughts on this receiver room?
You mean the guys that are leaving?
Yeah.
I'm more. I don't know what was up with Whitmore and why he couldn't get on the field. I was a big fan of him being that possession type receiver. I never really saw him drop anything. If he did, it might have dropped one pass in his whole entire time here, or maybe two. But he was always solid and dependable. He was the possession type receiver that you would want as a quarterback. Sometimes you get a tight end or you get that safety net. And to me, he was that type of guy. So I'm really shocked that he didn't work out here.
I think Trent was just I think this staff wants faster receivers. Plain and simple.
This is what I don't think it was good enough. I mean, I love him, but he's not better than Shorter. White boy.
And I think they stick to the depth chart. They're not whatever spot they slate you for, you're behind that guy. I think Wes has brought that up.
He's not better than White Boy Rick. So I mean, just got outplayed. It sucks. I mean, but it is what it is.
I know we love it. But
the one thing both of them used to do, quick note, is they would rotate the receivers every series. They would, whoever the three receivers were, another three would be the next series. And I think more Napier than just those three, and you want to come out when you're tired.
Maybe that's just the three they trust. I mean, honestly, it might not
outplayed.
All right, moving right along. Outside linebackers. Woo boy. another Mike's going to be excited. Lloyd Summerall.
Real quick on Dejon. Sorry. I wish he stayed for depth. I kind of liked him. He, like you said, he was coming on during the end of the season, and I just also saw Pitt is starting to look at him, and Pitt just produces receivers, as we saw this year as well, and Addison before that. That's all.
Well, best of luck to him wherever he goes. He's another one of them. He's a Georgia boy, man. I'll follow his career. I hope he does well. I think he's just a little slow in the feet for what this staff is looking for. That's just my personal take on it. If you look at the bodies we're recruiting versus what we had, it just looks like we're trying to get faster at receiver position.
Fair assessment.
Outside linebackers, like I said, Mike's boy, Lloyd Summerall, finally hit the portal. I don't know if we get to keep his dad or not. I don't know how that works. David Reese, we hardly knew ye. The other David Reese, often injured. And Chief Borders, man, good kid, really high-spirited, just for, special teams king, but never could break onto the too deep on the field. Never actually, I don't know if I ever saw him on the field. So, I don't know.
Yeah, Summerall, it's not good enough. Doesn't have the bend, bottom line. David Reese, like you were saying, there's not a lot of good players in Indian River County. So I kind of, unfortunately, had a bad feeling about it. He's essentially a man without a position. Chief Borders should have gone to Stanford. It is what it is. Great kid, great personality. It's not good enough. Wish him the best.
Let's hit up some DBs real quick, man, because that is loaded down with kids as expected. Maybe only one notable surprise, maybe not a member of this podcast team, but Kamara Wilcoxon, we already knew was leaving. He announced during the season he was heading out. Avery Helm, Wes won't have to watch him slip and fall anymore.
Still a loss.
Huh?
It's still a loss.
From an experience standpoint, that is a loss.
He's starting experience in the SEC.
We still will, but to me, him and Jalen Kimber, the same type of player.
I'm just saying, like right now, you still want veteran experience, even if it's not the best, because they're going to be comfortable.
I think this is going to be a hard thing to keep, though, now going forward, man. If you're not that starting guy, these kids
and I agree with you, but at that point, that did depend on how your program is, and like we're not at that stage, and like the Georgias and Alabama, we're not there yet. So to me, you can have someone on par, your Jaden Hills, your Kimbers, and your Avery Helms. They're all about the same. So if two of them were injured last year and Moore was injured last year, it's three guys.
And you got Marshall too.
No, I'm talking about the injured ones.
Oh, yeah, but we still got four coming back. They'll be fine. I'm ready to make the whole room over.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think Corey Raymond was very enthralled with Avery Helm and his skill set. And at the end of the day, it's like it's a coin flip, man. You lose the experience, but I think he's one of those guys
I'm not crying over it. I just don't want people, like, in general, experience is underrated.
It matters. It absolutely matters.
I get concerned if Kimber and Hill leave, then I'll be like, okay, now we have nobody.
It's just, once again, Hill's always hurt. That's my problem. If Hill was never hurt, I'd be okay with it. Hill's always hurt. He's been hurt since high school. That's my problem. And he's not, I don't think he's SEC starting corner, except on like Vanderbilt and Mizzou.
Corey Collier. We knew the kid was a project.
He can't wait.
He's a man without a position because he can't get his weight right for safety, and he's not good enough to play corner.
Too small for corner.
and we're out there posting, and now he's out there posting practice highlights for people and commenting on stuff. So I already know what his attitude is. And finally, Donovan McMillan. I know Mike's not torn up about this, but I know a lot of people were surprised. I'm not surprised. Given what we've heard, kid was slow. They had even considered moving him to linebacker because of his speed.
I think he should have tried it.
Maybe he doesn't. But here's the thing with some of these kids.
I think he should have tried it, not that.
Tell that to his camp. I won't say
and that's what I'm getting at. Some of these kids don't want to hear that. They want to, you know, I've been a safety my whole life. I want to play safety.
All right.
And I'm not saying that's the case here, guys. I'm not, trust me. But in a lot of these cases, that is the fact. Kids want to play the position they want to play. They don't want to move because they feel like they're going to set themselves back by learning a new position, and then they're going to be behind somebody else. So it's easier in their mindset, or somebody's feeding them the information. Hey, man, go to another school that needs a safety next year. You'll start, you get an NIL deal, possibly, whatever, you know.
That's why I gave my hats off to Griffin McDowell. Man, when O-line, D-line, tight end.
Yep.
Like, when you do that, you just want to play. And so it's just, got to think about it.
Defensive lineman Jalen Lee hit the portal. Chris Thomas hit the portal. I would not be surprised to see Humphreys hit the portal when it's all said and done, although his name is not in there yet. That one's probably 50-50 right now. None of these moves. You know what we haven't said, guys, outside of Avery Helm, starters. And Avery Helm was a borderline starter and wasn't at the end of the season. But, you know, that's here nor there. Like, you know, Naquan was a starter for one series at the beginning of the season and whatnot. These are guys that couldn't start on a team that struggled for talent. So, before you know, I know a lot of people oh my God, you know, a lot of people look at this through one, you know, side of their glasses and say, we're just losing so many people. Guys, this is needed. This is purging of a roster filled by bad takes and poor evaluations from a lazy recruiting staff. I mean,
listen, Ron English tried his best.
Ooh, boy. So, like I said, guys, that's just the names that we've gotten for now. I'm sure there will be one or two more. I don't want to move on without saying, of course, obviously, Anthony Richardson and Gervon Dexter declared for the draft as expected. We wish them both the best. Ventrell Miller announced today that he won't be in the bowl game as he prepares. Gervon will play in the bowl game. Ventrell Miller will not, but part of that is because graduation is that day, the day of the bowl game, and he wants to walk in graduation. And given a kid that's been through injuries and stuff like that, I mean, I kind of see it both ways. The man's given his body for this team for years. We wish them all well for their NFL dreams. Guys, like we said, there's a lot of dudes in this portal, man, and we need a lot of guys. But this show in particular, we're just going to focus on one position. And next week we'll hit another one as maybe some visits line out and some names, you know, really become in the focus of who the Gators are after. But we're going to go with the position that, you know, we hit on today with DJ Lagway, and we're going to talk about the quarterback position. We need one guy for 1 year. Arguably, you know, I mean, you have to assume that then you've got Rashada in line to take it over as a sophomore. If you get a guy in here this year and he gets you from A to B. So there's a lot of names out there, a lot of rumors. One took his name out of the hat earlier today, right before we went on air, with May at North Carolina declaring that he was going to be staying at North Carolina. He was arguably the biggest name rumored to possibly hit the portal, but I don't think he was ever trying to hit the portal. I think he was just trying to get North Carolina to show him some love, and apparently they did. So scratch that young man out, and then we start hitting on the realistic targets. We got Pratt out of Tulane is a realistic target. Austin Reed from Western Kentucky. Leary from North Carolina State. I know Mike's real big on Leary. I mean, there's some names out there. What do you guys think about the quarterback position in the transfer portal? We know we're looking. I mean, it's not even a question.
Yes, you had it spot on in terms of we've seen a bridge. And don't forget, like, obviously you want it to, Rashada, then Lagway, but hey, I'm just QB. Whoever wins that battle, I want it as a battle. And if Lagway beats out Rashada, it happens. It is what it is. But, like, I know exactly what you're saying. We need a bridge quarterback. Now, I love Leary, proven Power 5 starter. If he didn't get hurt, I think it was FSU. They're looking at a top 15 team this past year at NC State. So, proven starter in Power 5, that's big. That's huge. With that being said, he's coming off a shoulder injury. And I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a shoulder injury to his throwing shoulder.
Pec. Tore his pec. You talking about Leary?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tore his pectoral on his throwing arm.
Yeah. The fact that it's on his throwing arm petrifies me. So that's a huge risk when he's pretty much your only guy given our quarterback room. With that being said, I watched Tulane, and what was his name again? Sorry about that.
Michael Pratt.
Pratt. Oh my, got a man crush. Got a man crush on Pratt. He's just a gamer, man. He just gets it done. It's like
he doesn't make mistakes.
It's like a crescent wrench. Just good for everything. It's good for everything. I haven't scouted too much on the Western Kentucky, but I know the scheme. They just put a guy, put an individual quarterback in the league. Got some. We started a few games for the Patriots, so that scheme does translate to NFL. That is something to keep in mind. So it's not like your typical, like your old, Texas Tech air raid with Graham Harrell. So I wouldn't be put off just by that scheme. So end of the day, we just need accuracy. We don't need a guy, hey, throw the ball 40 times a game. This next season, if he throws the ball 40 times a game, the chances of us winning go down. We're going to play defense, and we're going to run the ball a lot. Make the simple throws, and don't turn the ball over.
You know what I want to see out of a quarterback?
I love Pratt. What's up?
I want to know what I want to see out of a quarterback next year. The stat line I want to see: 23 of 27, 200 some odd yards, and no turnovers. And I'm good to go.
I just want a leader.
That too. And I
haven't seen it in Emory's arguable, but I just want to see it
I want to see a guy that takes control of the huddle. Yes,
Pratt I get what has moxie.
Not Jonathan Moxon.
No relation. No, but he has that aura that players flock to him, and that's I haven't seen that. Emory probably had a little bit, but he wasn't good enough. Unfortunately for him,
it was the same thing with Franks.
Yeah, we need a Duggan, man. We need that kid from damn TCU. I mean, that's the kind of kid that's
Tim Tebow. That's Tim Tebow-esque, that type of kid, Duggan. He takes it that far.
A kid that's out there bleeding, putting his body on the line now. I mean, obviously, you got to be smart about it. It was a big game. I don't think he's doing that game 3 of the season. Maybe he does, though. I didn't watch that much TCU. But you could see how much, as Mike is referencing, how much his team respected him.
And they'll go through a wall for him.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, dude, I'm all about it. Wes, you got any thoughts on QBs?
Yeah, I say no to Leary because of that torn pec. There's no way to to know right now. It's not like free agency for NFL. You can get all that stuff next year because the portal is right now. Even though there's a portal next summer, if he waits it out, then you might come back around on next summer. But I say no to him right now because of that torn pec. My guy is McCall. Good program. They played in some good games. I think they beat Mike's boy Zach Wilson last year. 2 years ago when he came down there to Coastal. I'm a big fan of McCall. So we could have a guy. That would be my guy in the portal. I do like the kid from Tulane as well, but I'm with McCall.
I've heard rumors that if he leaves, he's going to the draft.
That's Grayson McCall out of Coastal Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The rumors I heard today was that people thought if he leaves, he'll go to the draft. I think he's got a good thing going there with Willie Corn.
His coach, Willie doesn't call the plays though, but even the head is the other offensive coordinator that calls the plays. And didn't the head coach leave too, right?
Is he the one that took the Liberty job?
I believe so.
Well, anyway, like I said, and he's not in the portal yet, so that's just but neither is Pratt for that matter. But we know these coaches have ways of talking to these kids, and these kids have ways of talking to these coaches. I know Clovis from Pitt was a rumored name. I really don't think he's one to I think he'd be some of these kids you're going to hear the Gators are talking to are fallback plans in case A or B falls through the cracks on them. You have to have a fallback, obviously.
And Austin Reed, he was actually second ranked in passing yards last year, 4,200 yards, 4,247 yards, and second in touchdown passes at 36. So in second completion, 353. So once again, prolific offense, and just because they're from the G5 level, I think we've come to learn this over the years. Doesn't mean it's inferior quarterback. Billy Napier has already proven he can evaluate talent from the G5 level and bring it over. And look at Torrance, let alone Johnson.
Guys, I think we're going to have us, no matter who it is, I think we're going to have us a very capable QB running this team next year. As I said, to get from A to B, I think people need to kind of have – I know, you've got to understand that this is going to be a roster pieced together next year as part of this staff flipping the roster and getting it in the direction they want to go to. So you need a guy, like Mike said, that's a leader, that can teach the younger kids and just really get us going in the direction that Billy has for this program. Mike, you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I know AR was supposed to be a Ferrari last year. The team didn't need a Ferrari. We needed a Honda Civic, Honda Accord. And that's what we're going to get. Just give me something good on gas, a nice resale value.
It's funny you said that. I was talking to our man CJ that does our graphics and stuff yesterday about a quarterback, and his exact line was, I need my quarterback to be a 1998 Honda Accord. That was
220,000 miles. Let's go. Take it to the bank.
Shout out to CJ as always.
Take it to the bank.
Love the kid. He does so much for us. All right, guys. Well, like I said, next week we'll dive more into the portal as names really start to kind of get solidified and we hear about, who's going where and visiting and whatnot. Don't expect a lot of quick movement, though, guys, in this first week or so. Kids are set up visits. They're going to make visits. They're going to make the best, decisions they can for their future career. And coaches are going to do the same. They're going to evaluate what's out there and decide what they need for immediate help. So, just let this play out. This is just like recruiting. It's going to take a few weeks to really get a view on where we're going. All right, guys. As y'all know, as we've said every week, we're a pod of the people. Hashtag pod of the people. And Wes is going to get us some more questions this week that he got from our Facebook group, and we're gonna do our best to answer them. Maybe. Wes, what you got?
The first one is from Chris Sorley. I guess one of us can answer this. I don't think all this, because he kind of answered something that we kind of already did already. He said landing Lagway's commitment seemed to be a pivotal moment for Gator Nation and Napier. What does this mean for this year's and next year's recruiting class? We kind of talked about it, so one of us can sum that up.
It's everything for the 24 class. I mean, it is everything for the 24 class. You have your benchmark, your staple. You have that guy. You have the guy that's going to recruit for you, the coach off the field, that will call, that will text other prospects. Hey, wait, who you looking at? Maybe you should come look at Florida, man. We're going to put something together. That kind of stuff's going on already. Was probably going on before today's commitment, honestly. DJ knew where he was going a few weeks back, despite what USC people will tell you. He is going to be the Pied Piper of the 24 class. Now, we talked about how it affects someone like Sampson in this year's class. Hey, man, they're putting together a great quarterback class there. I can get behind that. They're stacking talent. What's my number 2 school, Miami, doing? Oh, they got a 3-star linebacker this week. That's cool. Maybe I'll pass him in the locker room or on the sideline. You know what I mean? Hey, man, there's no such thing as bad publicity and building excitement. And, they built a ton of excitement today.
Second question. Joel Cox. This is from Joel Cox. He says, Lagway's the biggest commit we've had in a few years. Who do you think will be the next big fish to commit?
I think we talked about him already. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but Mike, I mean, what do you think? It looks like it's lining up really good for Sampson right now.
Lagway's the biggest.
That's what he said.
Oh, but is he biggest or one of the?
He said, who's the next?
Who's the next big thing after now that we've got Lagway? Who's the next big?
I mean, 12th recruiting country should be a day. I mean, Hirsch and I somewhat are debate on if he's day one ready. I think you can get him day one ready, especially with our coaching, but it's just going to be Sampson.
I don't think he needs to be. I guess maybe that was more of my argument is I don't know if he
No, we definitely have the depth for that. You are correct on that account. So with that being said, it's going to be Sampson. Once again, he's a national recruit. He's in terms of from the media. So you are creating that perception. I'm going to go to Cali and give her a shot and flip him from a rival. I'm going to go to Texas and get a 5-star quarterback who's number 4 overall. I'm going to go to Massachusetts and get the best tackle, number 12 prospect in the country. I go wherever the hell I want to go. Coming off a 6-1 season in my bump class and get things done. And you know the last coach to do that at the University of Florida? Herb Meyer. He did pretty decent.
This one is from Justin Wood. We kind of answered this question already. He had a 2-part question, though. I think we can answer the second one. He said, what is the most likely Porter quarterback we land? Devin Leary, Michael Pratt, or Grayson McCall? We kind of answered that already. We went over our quarterbacks. But the second part of his question says, do you think with Sampson moving his commitment up, is it good news for the Gators?
I can't see it as bad news. Let me something I meant to talk about when we talked about Sampson earlier is Sampson's been forecasted, predicted, whatever your go-to is, not crystal balled so much, but all the pundits, experts, blah, 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 and from all these recruiting services have said Miami forever. Miami's in the lead. Miami's in the lead. He officially visited Miami back in the summer. He took a visit to see him get racked against Florida State. If Miami's such in the lead, why hadn't he committed yet? Plain and simple. He's looking for a reason not to go to Miami and has been for quite a while, I think. He reached out. This wasn't just the Gators saying, hey, Samson, hey, you thought about playing for us? This was a mutual interest. Samson reached out to us just as much as we reached out to him. So,
yeah, and we went and did a visit with him recently, and now he's coming to visit us this weekend. Then it moved up, so I still have that PTSD from Kamari moving his up, but this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yes,
and we will until he commits.
Yeah,
but
so.
This is not the first time his family's in town. Let's just leave it at that.
No, his family came last time.
No, I'm saying this is not the first.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah,
I don't think the fans do it yet.
Second time he's making a full family trip.
Why?
And don't
you getting a PO box? Same.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not coming to see a game.
Definitely not.
You didn't see a game last time.
Yeah.
So you've already seen everything you're going to probably see on this, except now on an official, they'll go through all the academic stuff. You know, all that kind of stuff. Oh, you want to go ahead and register for classes? You know, I mean, here's the thing, and I hark back to it. If he's such a lean to Miami, why is he not committed to Miami?
The money's there.
But is it? And even if it is, I mean, you look back at it. Who's he going to play with? Anyway, I could go on about this forever, and then it's just going to be trolling.
Yeah. Not last question. Well, Marlon Coleman, we answered your question already. Any quarterback we lack in the portal. So the last question will be from Jay Stubbins, who says, what young player you are looking forward to see in the bowl game? He says, I love to see Clyburn on defense and see what Farmer and Christian Williams can do on the O-line. So any guys that young guys that you may want to see in the bowl game?
I'm right. He said it. Piper, man. I want to see that kid play. I don't know why. I think that kid's just going to be an animal, man. And maybe he won't be. Maybe it's just a hype. Maybe he's going to be an urban legend. I mean, but that kid just looks like he wants to just go out there and hurt somebody. And I'm all for that. He's got that Barber on the defensive kind of look to me, like he's just going to go maul somebody. That could be bad. That could be good. Other than that, I don't know. Kamari getting a full game. Shamar getting a full game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say with Ventrell not being there. Shamar, and then with Gervin not being there, I want to see him.
Gervin's playing.
Gerv is playing.
No, yeah, that is true. Of course, I want to see more. I want Gervin to play, but I don't want him to play too much. I mean,
I'm sure he won't.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll kind of, they'll feel it out.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on him. It'll probably be more on him than anything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the young guys that we've kind of harped on all year, Shamar, Kamari, and Chris McCullough. I want to see all three.
I also don't have the stats in front of me to say who they can play without burning shirts as well.
True.
I don't know who's played in 4 games, who's played in 3.
That is true.
Because that might affect some decisions. If they have, Billy brought in a lot of preferred walk-ons. Don't think that there's not kids to play this game. I mean, it might not be pretty, but and we've got some guys that have been running backs and whatnot on this team that have been here for like 5 years. Battle is still here.
FYI I did hear a rumor. I can't speak to the validity of it yet, but I heard a rumor, and you guys can, if you've heard this as well, that Miller is supposed to be starting. I know a lot of people want to know who's going to be starting at QB for us with 2 quarterbacks gone.
I heard it has to be Miller.
Yeah, I heard Miller today, but some people thought he was still injured with that finger.
If he's not fine by then, we're screwed. Anyway, Max Brown season, baby. No, Ingall. It's Ingall season. Anyway, all right, guys. We appreciate your questions as always. We'll get more from you next week. Keep them coming, guys. Love answering them. Love the interactions. Got a little bit of business to attend to here before we get out for the night. We're going to wrap it up, man. We had championship week last weekend, and it was our last weekend of doing our Pick Ems. And, well, Mike had the worst record in the last week of the Pick Ems. Man, I can't believe that happened. But I'll give him credit. He's the only one that picked Utah to beat
you. Baby, steady A. Actually,
yeah,
it's not,
500 wins the race, huh? Hirsch 4-2, West 4-2, Mike went 3-3. For the final season totals, Hirsch 87-45, Mike 81-51, and Wes in third place 79-53. Guys, it was a lot of fun.
Even funner when you finish them last.
Oh. Oh my God.
I was missing for 1 week and that just tore me up.
Mike did pick LSU to beat UGA. Boy, that was close. But I'll give him credit. He's the only one that had the balls to pick Utah over USC. So
Texas A&M.
But he did pick UNC to beat Clemson as well. So guys, if you haven't seen it yet on our Facebook and our Twitter page, though, we are having a bowl pick'em contest done on ESPN. The links are on the post on Twitter and on Facebook, and I will post it again in a day or so. We want to get everybody in that wants to be in before the bowl games get started. 43 picks you need to make to be eligible to be in the contest. And the winner of the contest will be given a choice of a Gator hat that I will show to you when we get concluded here and whatnot. I'll have a couple of selections lined up for you to choose from, and then we'll get it sent to you, man, for whoever wins. Hey, it costs nothing to enter, guys. Not a dime. We just want to see which one of our fans knows ball, man. That's what it's all about. Who knows ball? Mike said it all year. He knows ball. This is your chance to show that you know ball better than Mike, and that's all it's about, guys.
Difficult.
So this is your chance to shove Mike in a locker. So sign up for our bowl pick'em, and let's find out who knows ball, guys. All right, boys. It's been another great show, guys. It's so fun to talk about Gator football when things are going our way. And this has been a great day. Hopefully about to be another great weekend. And hopefully we have some really strong news to talk about next week. Man, I tell you right now, it's going to be off by a day. Samson's committing on next Thursday, and we'll do the show Wednesday. Hopefully we've got an idea, though, by then, maybe where he's leaning, and we can kind of be on a high from that and, maybe it not jinx it. So, guys, we appreciate all y'all. Guys, is there anything you want to add before we jump out of here?
For as long as I can say it. Bateman's got us.
I hope he ain't got as much longer. Wes, never mind. I'm going to come to you in a second, Wes, unless you got anything you want to add about the team or anything like that before.
Nah, go ahead.
Oh, man. All right, guys, as always, make sure you go out, download the episode wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you go visit our YouTube channel, guys. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It helps us a great, great deal. Leave a like, drop us a comment. We read the comments, even from my family that likes to comment on it, and they're Georgia fans. You know who you are. We appreciate you, guys. And as always, if you'd like to support us as creators, check out our Patreon, Respect Our Decision. Thank you to all that already contribute, helping us make this show better. We appreciate you so much. Take us home, Wes.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, Hirsch. As you guys know, we are a podcast that support our troops. So if you are a veteran or know a veteran out there that's in need of some questions about disability benefits, please hit us up and we will answer those questions for you guys. Today is Pearl Harbor Day, so big shout out to our men and women of the armed services who continue to put their lives there to make sure that we have the freedoms to give to you what we're doing today, which is a podcast. So big shout out to all you guys who serve our country. We thank you very, very much. And I have nothing else but go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.